High Gain, Scientific Research and Research Process, Part 3. Prepared by Dr. Nazatoshima Abdurrani, UniKL Business School. Learning Outcomes. Number 1. To know the different scientific stages of business research process. Research process. As you can see, there are 12. I would say there are 12 steps. The first step in research process is to identify the problem or what are the issues that you would like to explore or what are the things that you would like to know from your research. That is known as problem identification. If there is no problem or there is no issue, why do you need to do research? In academic research, you must know why it is a significant issue to be investigated or a problem which is worth to be solved. And then from the problem identification, then you will move to the second stage or the second step, collect relevant data. This data can be normally can be both secondary data and primary data. Secondary data are those published reports, news, or any journals articles that shows there is a gap in research and there is significance of the study to be conducted. And primary data is actually to ask questions to others, to other people that might be potential um, focus group, not focus group, but be potential for data collections. The potential respondent ask them if that is a real issues, and if there is any issues, then you can create a problem statement. This problem statement will be based from the data that you have earlier. And then from there, you have identified few factors that might be relevant for your research. And then from there, you will come up with a literature review. Literature review involves secondary data analysis, whereby you will look into published journal from past researcher on the factors that have been highlighted earlier. And from there, you will identify theories to support your studies. Because that will be basis for your studies to explain further why that will be your as a basis for your research. Then from there you will come up with a research framework or conceptual framework. Conceptual framework for your research is based on your theories. And then from there you will identify your dependent variable and independent variable. Of course, first you need to identify your independent variable and also your dependent variable from your conceptual framework that you have drawn out earlier. And hypothesis will be forwarded. And in your literature, you will forward it hypothesis for your study. And what is this hypothesis? Hypotheses are actually assumptions that you make from your literature review to answer your problem statement and hypothesis. And the methodology here referring to how you will conduct your research. Okay, how you will conduct your research and your questionnaires, how you're going to develop your questionnaire, are you going to develop your own questionnaire, is your own set of questionnaire and items from past literatures, or you're going to adopt questionnaires from published journals that have been done by earlier researcher. Okay, And then you move to data collection. This data collection is very important. Yeah, but before you can do your data collection, you must remember in your methodology, this is where you need to identify who will be your potential respondent and justify why you choose them before you approach them for your data collection. This is to ensure that your respondent will not be biased. If your respondent are biased, then your result will be biased and your findings will not be significant or will not be reliable. And in your data collection, you need to distribute, according to your plan. And if you hire people to do it for you, you need to train them. And then you have to brief them on research ethics. You cannot force respondents to give, their feedback or to give their responses on the spot. You cannot force them to answer your survey. And now the later part is data entry. Data entry is very, I would say, tedious work need to be done, and you have to be very careful and extra, I would say, attention need to be given in the process. If you key in the wrong data or the wrong information, your data will not be reliable. So you need to hire the right person to do the data entry and able and also to make your process easier. In your questionnaire, you should have coded already, the coding already done earlier, so it's easier for you to key in the data. For academic research for business student, of course, you will use SPSS. That is the normal, I would say, software used for analysis. And then for data entry and analysis, I would say SPSS, yeah, being used widely in UniKL. And then from the analysis, then you will be able to interpret your findings and all that. And then after the interpretation of your analysis, then you have to discuss. For discussion here, you will look into the implication to the academic world, to the business world, and to the society or to the government policy. And from there, you're also able to identify your research limitations. What are the things that you have limitations during your research? And also, what will be the implications to the country? And also, what will be the future research direction that you can propose for future researcher? So that can also be included in your discussions, and also you might propose a new framework or a new model, from your research. And then your conclusion will be to conclude the whole study by relating back to the current situations and the respondents' profile that, if I mentioned just now earlier, if most of the respondents are biased to certain age, so they might influence your I would say findings. And then that would be your limitation. For example, if most of your responding young people at the age of 18, 19, and 20, or 20 to 25 years old, and very small number at the age of 30 plus or 40 plus, then it shows as a respondent bias. So the research findings will be biased to the young people. So you can make generalizations that the findings only applicable to people in that age bracket, cannot be used to generalize the whole Malaysian population or the whole population in that location where you do your research. For example, if it's in Kuala Lumpur, so you can use that generalization for maybe young people or young adults in Klang Valley or Kuala Lumpur. So that will be your findings. So that will make you highlight in your conclusions. And also, I think I have discussed briefly on the research process that need to be done by, I would say, academic research, especially business student. So I think that's all for today. Thank you for listening. And if you have any question that you want to ask, or you have any issues, that, or anything that you want to know more further, you can email, or you can also, I would say, WhatsApp. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.